Hi, I'm Brad from Valley Nursery in Paulsbo, Washington, and we are going to prune some fruit trees today. We're in my orchard here in Paulsbo, and these trees have been in for about 15, 18 years. And I have some pears, I've got apples, I've got some cherries, and some plums. So we are going to kind of go over the basics of a fairly mature tree and tell you what to do and what not to do. Here we've got a pear tree. You can tell pear trees because they're really upright. And if I zoom in here, you can see the branches go very straight up in the air. And the first thing we're going to do when we prune this is we are going to take off some of the water sprouts, or those suckers that are going straight up in the air. And I'll zoom in on those, see how they're coming off the trunk and they're going straight up in the air. So we're going to remove a lot of that stuff in there. And we're going to look when we first start here for some crossing branches. We're going to do some thinning. These trees have been basically pruned to be an open center. Some main branches that's kind of open in the middle. I need to reopen it up again because they fill it up every year. It's early April here and we're getting off to kind of a late start. We've had a terrible winter here, and this is one of the first nice days we've had the entire late winter and spring. But basically you see all these big fat buds here, and these are the fruiting buds. And we would like to have done this a little earlier because we have to be careful now so we don't knock these buds off. But here we've got fruiting spurs, and then as you go up this stem here, these ones that are not fat, that are kind of pointed, those are our growth buds. So that's the difference. These are growth buds, and these big fat ones there that'll have some color on them pretty soon, those are the fruiting buds. As you can see, I've removed a lot of these water sprouts or suckers like this that are going straight up. I'm cutting those flush off. What you don't want to do, however, is cut every sucker off or every upright shoot off. Some of them you want to head back to an outside bud. Like this one, I'll just take that one off, the tip of it, and then I'm going to take that off. So I'm kind of thinning out. And the biggest mistake that some people make is that they take every upright branch off, and the tree's going to grow whether you want it to or not. And you have to leave a place where it can expend its energy. So on the inside of the tree, I'm trying to remove a lot. Looks like I still have some more things that are, here's another water sprout that's clogging it up. But you want to remove most of them, but you have to leave some for the growth to come. Otherwise, every year you're just going to have lots and lots of water sprouts or suckers every year. And if you leave a place to go for the growth to go, then they'll start producing more fruit spurs every year. Okay, so we've taken the suckers off. I've done some top pruning here. I've thinned it out quite a bit. I've left a little section right here that I'll go over right now. So I'm going to start I'm going to be cutting back to a good shoot, or in this case of this one, that's a sucker. I'll just take that out. I'm going to take this one out, and you'll see I'm cutting off fruit spurs in some cases, but this is way up the tree, and you can have too many fruit spurs up here anyway. So here, this shoot, I'm going to cut it back to a side shoot, which reduces the overall size. I don't want these trees to get really super big, so I'm always whacking away at them to keep them low. Here's take this particular branch. It's got two big long shoots here. I'm going to cut them back to a side shoot, and then I'm going to head that back, and that's just going to branch right there and put up some new shoots. Remember, like I told you before, you got to give it a place to grow. These shoots here, I'll cut off the tall one, cut it back to a side shoot, and tip it like that. This one, it's a little too tall. I know I'm stretching here. It's not safe on the ladder, but I'm going to cut it back to a side shoot. Here, this one's pretty easy. I'll take this water sprout out. I'll take this little sucker. I'll head it back, and that's where the energy is going to go. I'll take these two, cut it back to a side shoot. Right there, there's going to be energy shooting out there. So I've taken all these shoots, I've reduced the size, I've given it a place to grow because it's going to do that anyway. Here, I'm going to bring this over. You know, don't do this at home. Not really that safe. Hope I don't fall off. Give it a place to grow. So this is all thinned out up in here. Light and air can get to all of these fruiting spurs for the most part. Maybe I'll thin that one out of there, a little close to another one. And the top of this tree is looking pretty good over here. A little bit more thinning right over in here, and we'll be done. Okay, pretty much finished with this tree. I am liking the looks of it. It is pretty open. I've got 4 or 5 main stems. It's got the center open. As you, I've got my height pretty good. I'll give you a shot from the top here. You can look on these branches, and they are fairly thinned out. You can see there's space in between them all. There's no crossovers. They're all headed back. There's tons of fruiting spurs. There's just lots of place for air, lots of places for sunlight, and lots of fruit spurs. So if we get a good good spring, nice warm during the during bloom time, should have lots of pears.